So back in 2002, I was going to school in Northern California. A good friend, a housemate, brought one of these scobies in, these symbiotic colonies of bacteria and yeast. He and I started brewing back in our home kitchen, and quickly we began brewing something pretty darn tasty. Fast forward a little bit, I came back across the country to Virginia, landed here. There wasn't kombucha on the shelves. We just kept on brewing, kept on making a delicious product. A couple years later, we saw that some kombucha was coming into the stores. Back when was that? 2007, 2008? In 2010 is when we decided to launch our kombucha. So kombucha is a fermented tea. We start with green and black teas, add sugar. In our case, everything's certified organic. We basically make a very sweet tea that we add a little bit from the last batch, a little bit of kombucha from the last batch, and that SCOBY we've been talking about, that symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. And we basically let that sweet tea ferment. We let it go from something super sweet to something it could be a table vinegar, and we catch it right in the middle, a little bit of sweet with a little bit of tang.
One of the cool things about the fermentation process is that during fermentation, the caffeine is mostly assimilated, the sugar is largely assimilated, so what you end up with is a beverage that has just a very trace amount of caffeine, low sugar, low calorie, healthful probiotic beverage.
And super tasty. These are called corny kegs, or old soda kegs. So we've taken these and refurbished them and turned them into our kegging vessels. So our tagline is big flavor, small footprint. As we mentioned, our model with that no waste component. On the other side of it is that big flavor. So we use the clear Spring Mountain water, all of the certified organic ingredients. We do small artisanal batches where we have a lot of control and a lot of focus on the entirety of the process. We began as sort of milkmen, milk people around Charlottesville, around the outlying counties. We were dropping off 6-packs of filled kombucha bottles. We'd pick up the empty bottles, bring them home. Sometimes we'd sit in the back of local restaurant parking lots and kind of bootleg our kombucha out of the back of the '93 Honda Civic. It was definitely a fun time. We did that for about a year. Then we changed our process a bit. We launched into kegs. We asked them to purchase their empty bottles and own that bottle. So we established small little kombucha fountains around the area where people would bring their empty bottles, they'd fill them up, they'd take the bottles back home, they'd drink them, rinse them, bring them back in, and refill them. And that's been working really well. We've been in it now for about 5.5 years. There are over 25,000 bottles in circulation, well over 250,000 bottles saved at this point. So we feel like we're doing something. It's happening.
So one thing we like about the way that we've started and grown this business is we've done the whole thing on a shoestring. You know, we started out with a few $1,000s and, you know, we've reinvested year after year back into the business to help it grow. It's an entirely family-owned business. It's, you know, me and Ethan and 2 full-time, 1 part-time employee. You know, it's really a very small operation. And it's here at our home. So, you know, we have that opportunity to be here when our kids are young and try and achieve that work-life integration that everybody's really going for. And just this past summer, we launched pre-filled bottles of kombucha. So, you know, one challenge that we had these past 5 years was that if you walked into a grocery store, let's say, and you go up to the kombucha fridge, you don't find Barefoot Bucha there. This way, we fill the bottles here at the brewery, we put them on the shelves next to the other kombuchas, you buy that bottle, you read it, it says this bottle is refillable, find a fountain near you. It kind of describes the no waste option, and people know that they can refill, and so that's been going really well for us. It's really brought, you know, a lot of new consumers to try the product.
Essentially, we're asking people to, you know, have a little awareness about what they're doing in the grocery store, to have sort of a conscious consumerism piece to the puzzle. So what people are doing is they're bringing in their bags, they're bringing in their bulk jars, and they're bringing in their Barefoot Bucha bottles, and they're filling up on everything and heading home.